Here we're going to uncover the questioning of a former police officer who's been brought in on claims of domestic abuse. It's a tough one. Let's get into it.
Real quick.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Detective Jordan.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
It'd be better if it weren't sitting here and like this.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got little trials every now and then we gotta work through. 17.
I was asking, what was his name?
Russell.
Yeah. I was asking him if I'm gonna go to jail anyway, or, you know, or basically no matter what, or if this is even gonna make any difference. And he says, oh, we don't, that's not for sure yet. So it's like, I'm not gonna, you know, make some statement if it's just to get me to make a statement and take me to jail anyway. And then no offense, you know, no disrespect to you guys, but
You just let us know exactly what you're feeling. First and foremost, you see those red signs on either wall saying this room is being audio and video recorded?
yes.
You okay with having this conversation audio and video recorded?
Well, not really, but I'd rather just.
If you don't, then we're not gonna record it.
Yeah, I'll go shut it off if you don't want to, but this just kind of protects you as well as us too. So we're not putting words in your mouth. Otherwise, I'm
I
gonna
don't-
describe what you say.
Well, I believe you.
Yeah.
I trust both of you guys. I'm just saying. I just don't want my video being shown to some place or something. You know what I mean?
It just stays in the case file, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's up to you. It's your call.
I mean, just talk like man.
This thing is kind of to protect us, and you've been here, you've been in the seat before, you know what it's like. This is to make sure that we're doing our job the right way, and all the stuff that you're saying is what you're saying.
Yeah, ultimately, otherwise, I'm going to write down, I'm not verbatim, but I'm going to paraphrase what you say, and I don't want to take anything out of context. I'm not trying to talk you into, or he isn't either. You know, we've been doing this a long time.
Well, before we start, can I kind of know
Sure.
what the plan is? I mean, am I getting booked no matter what, or?
We don't know. At this point, there's like two sides of every story, right?
I know my girlfriend and I didn't hurt each other.
Okay, let's do this, because we're starting to go
Yeah.
into the minutia of this thing.
I know you want to. Okay.
Let's just do this. Time is now 19:11 hours. Today's date is 01/14/2015, and the case number is 150110566. And this part's for you. I'm gonna read you your rights and have you fill out your last name.
Okay.
Just fill out your last name. And if you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk. If you don't want to talk, but let's make sure we get all of this stuff done so we know that that's
But before I make any kind of statement, can I just find that out? I mean, like I said, all
and date of birth.
the,
Okay, John?
yeah.
Hang on, just let him read this to you. And I'm going to point out one of these that I think is the most important when he reads that to you, and then that's
The one
a good
about my.
Okay.
Look, read, listen.
Okay, you have the right to remain silent. You understand that?
Yes.
Just initial right next to it there, saying that you understood that you have the right to remain silent.
And by the way, I did invoke earlier, but
Yeah, but you voluntarily
I know,
wanted to talk to
I
us.
do want to talk.
Right.
I just want, but I don't want to.
Okay. Any statement that you do make him use as evidence against you in the court of law. You understand that? Okay, just initial there. You have the right at the time to talk with an attorney of your choice and to have your attorney present before and during any questioning and the making of any statement. You understand that? If you're not afforded an attorney, you're entitled to have one appointed for you without cost to you, and to have your attorney present at any time during any questioning or the making of any statement. You may stop asking questions at any time, or ask for an attorney at any time during questioning or the making of any statement.
John, that's my favorite one. So if you want to go, if you want to, it's up to you. You understand them. We can go through the question. We can ask questions, and at any time you don't like the frame of the training or the questioning rather, you can say, fuck off, and I won't take no offense to it. But I'm just, man to man, I'm just telling you. You could say no thanks.
That would be very nice of me.
I know. No, but you know what I'm saying? You have the right. That's the one I like the best out of any interview I ever do. That's the one I stress the most.
Do you understand each of these rights that I explained to you? Just put yes, that's it, and make sure you put yes if you understand it. And having been made fully aware of these rights, do you wish to voluntarily answer questions now? Yes or no? Initials and roll. Yes, okay. Just sign for me and I'll sign.
Just so you know what I'm doing, I'm just signing the signature of the witness. Just explain everything I do, buddy.
There, now that that's done, bruh. So here's the deal, man. We were really concerned.
You want to have this recorded or not recorded? I want to, sorry.
If you'd like to record it, that's fine.
Thank you, buddy. That helps me pay attention to you a little more.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I was confused.
Everybody was concerned for your safety, your girlfriend's safety. Some stuff that Cabby said. We're just trying to make sure what happened, who was injured, how they got injured, the whole nine, if that makes sense to you.
No one knows. Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, so
No one is injured.
nobody's injured?
I hope not.
So tell us what happened today. Tell us what happened today.
But before we go into all this stuff, like I was trying to find out earlier,
Mm-hmm.
Officer Russell, Detective Russell,
Mm-hmm.
said that I'm being booked into jail. So if I'm going to be booked into jail, I mean, no matter what, then it just doesn't make any sense for me to answer any questions.
Let me ask you, when you were in law enforcement, when you talked to, you went out on a call or something, and you got one story.
I understand that, but,
You know what I mean?
but if
That's-
my girlfriend's saying something, I don't know what she'd say, but if somebody else, earlier you said that somebody else called in and said something.
Okay?
And
That's
so-
otherwise we wouldn't be looking for you. You see what I'm saying?
I
Somebody had to say
understand
something, right?
But I just don't understand why I'm gonna make a statement if I'm gonna go to jail regardless.
Because it would happen regardless if you go to jail or not. Either way. What happens is, and I told this to your father when I was at the house talking to him, I said, it's up to you, but if I have one story or two stories and I don't have yours, your story could put holes in their story, and and maybe that
Or
would
mine
stop.
or I could say something that could put
Well,
me.
you can only tell me the
I
truth,
mean,
John.
I've already said the truth, though. I've already told everybody earlier what happened.
Who did you tell?
I talked to, what's his name?
The guy you rode with?
The guy that first,
Oh, that was Detective Martin. The guy in plain clothes? With the black jacket?
no, well, I did talk to him a little bit.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day,
I mean, I
whatever the
invoked
truth is, the
I
truth
invoked
is.
earlier, and then now I'm agreeing to talk, but I'm not, I don't really want to make a statement because I don't know why I'm going to make a statement and then be booked into jail anyway. I just,
Understand, you don't make a statement, all we have is what the people, is what the original people told us, and we're just gonna go off of that.
And the scene, the evidence of the scene.
That's it. If that's what you wanna do, that's fine.
but I haven't hurt anybody.
Okay.
But we have a different story of that, and by you saying that, and that's great. And you may not have. Maybe you could poke holes in their story. It is up to you to give a statement.
Yes.
Not you've been on the side. I'm giving you this very straight. He's giving you a fair shake at the deal. It's your decision, 100%. If you
I
want.
mean, these guys, they treat me like a dirtbag. They put the handcuffs on me tighter than, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a dirtbag. I've been cooperating the entire time. I followed our instruction. I've been.
So John, at the end of the day, you wanna tell us your side of the story, or you just want us to go by what we heard?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it'd be better if I don't know what to do. To be honest with you.
Well, I'm not
know.
your attorney, but I'd be damned if I'd let him lie on me without me telling him my side of the story.
He's not gonna lie to me.
I know that. I'm using him as an example, hypothetically. an example.
I trust him. for sure. And you seem like a good guy too. I'm like,
I've been doing this job for 24 years. I am not going to lie about anything.
I know you're not. I know.
You know, but and I'm not going to lie to you. The deal is
am I going to jail then or not? I mean,
I don't know. You haven't told us anything. So at this point, if you don't tell us anything, we can only go off of what we have.
what do you guys want to know?
I want to know what happened. He wants to know what happened right in the beginning, from what the issue was that when your girlfriend ran out to the cab.
Just let's start. What were you guys arguing about? Let's start with that. Because that's what she said. She said, "Yeah, we did get in an argument."
Mhm.
What was the argument about?
I don't know, if I'm going to be booked no matter what, I see.
For the third time. Here's the thing. If you don't say anything, all we have to go on is what they told us. And that's why you're under arrest right now, because of what they told us. The only way you could...
So I am under arrest now.
Yes. That's why you get the arrest warrant to you.
I know. Earlier it was like he was being detained.
But you saw him fill out the booking sheet. Because remember, you weren't going to talk to us, so all we have to go on is what they told us. Is what the cab driver told us.
What your girlfriend said, and then what we got to find out is what you said. That's all.
Well, my girlfriend's saying I did something, then what's the point of making a statement?
Well, who said
You don't
that?
think a girl would lie? You don't think that somebody might lie that might not be the truth, or we might have evidence that doesn't support what she says, but we got to figure out what happened on your end? Or you can just be quiet. It don't matter to me, John, but I do want the truth.
I don't want to be naive to myself and say, oh, you know, I mean, there was like 30 cars out there.
Okay, listen to this. Did you assault your girlfriend?
What's that?
Did you assault
No.
your girlfriend? Okay, so now that you said that, just explain to us the details from the time you got into an argument to the time that you were contacted by the police in Tacoma. That's all.
Okay.
You've already said you didn't assault her, so there you go.
Truth will set you free.
All right.
That's it.
We argued, as you know from earlier, we argued, we did have an argument about this whole thing with this guy that she was with.
Some infidelity issues, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We left. We went to the coffee shop.
Tell me how you ended up. There's a taxi cab involved somewhere.
Okay. I went out there and I yelled at her.
What'd you say?
I don't remember what I said.
What do you think you said? You said, get back in here, don't leave.
I said,
hey, don't forget your stuff.
You didn't take your phone, you know, you don't love me, what, you know, you do this to me, but you're leaving me now.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you went, okay, that makes sense. Go ahead.
And then this guy's like, "Boy, you're not gonna pay me?" I'm like, "I'll pay you here," you know. And she gave me $25 to pay him. I asked him, it's $25, I think.
So was the cab to take her, was to bring her there, or was the cab to make?
She was gonna go get her car because we left her car at her apartment last night. She drove my car.
So what was the payment for? What would you pay the cabbie for?
For coming out. He says, well, it's $15 for you.
Oh, okay. So was she already in the cab, or did you walk her to the cab? How did she get to the cab? Talk to me.
She walked to the cab, and then I yelled.
You didn't want her to leave though?
I came out there and I said, look, you know, like I said, I know it's, I don't want to repeat the same answers, but I'll tell you, you know, like I said, I did say some things I should have said, but I didn't hit anybody.
Okay.
I didn't threaten her or threaten the cabbie. I told him something. I said some curse words. You know.
That's not against the law, though, bro. So don't.
But I know, but I still don't. I'm not a person who cuss a lot. I do cuss. I'm not gonna try and portray myself as a saint.
Right.
But anyway, I did do that. She paid him, and this whole thing from this point on, yeah, we argued. Yeah, we left. Why are you in a robe for?
Who said that?
Russell.
Okay.
I'm in a robe because I was, you know, in this, and she was like, well, let's just leave. You know, I don't want to be here. You know, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, we're just going to get a coffee. So we got to go get coffee.
No, what time of day was that, though?
I don't remember. We went and got a coffee. We drove around for a while. We came back, and when we came back, there's like 30 cars around the block. And I see my mom's parked outside on what's that street? Not Tower, but
one of the adjacent streets.
Yeah.
So, but you
So
understand,
she's-
you
and I-
understand
I-
why that was, though? Do you understand why?
Well, I didn't know, not at first, and there's a.
You understand now?
Well, I do now. I understand what the.
Okay.
So we came around, and I see her, that car, and then the two patrol cars there. Her car, she's sitting there, and so then I leave. I go make a call on a payphone.
Who'd you call?
My dad.
Okay.
And I asked him what was going on. He says, the cab driver said you guys got in an argument. He says that you forcibly removed her. No, I did not.
Okay.
He says, well, I'm standing right next to the assistant chief right now. Okay. And so, well, and Ami didn't want to call him because, first of all, we didn't have any, our cell phones were at the house.
Right.
I forgot mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any way to call him. I went to a payphone. I don't remember where it was. It was in Lakewood.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was in Tacoma, I believe.
Okay.
And then the first time he says, well, they have your, or is it the first time? No, the first time or the second? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm tired, guys.
I get it. You're fine. Doesn't matter if it's the first or second. It's
I haven't slept very well. I'm very tired.
Mm-hmm.
So when I called him and asked him what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
that's what he told me. He said, well, they can search the house. I haven't beat her up or anything like that. Trying to think where we went after that. We went to Tacoma after the second, so the second phone call was in Tacoma. And we're just driving around, talking.
So would you guys, so at the end of your conversation, what'd you guys end up with? How'd you get this deal resolved? Is it resolved?
It's resolved.
Okay, good.
We already told her I forgave her for it all. I'm not mad at her. I mean, yeah, it hurt, but I'm not gonna. There's no good a whole lot of it.
Okay.
I think I went to take a trip. Things were good. And as far as I was concerned, it was over with. But then, like I said, all the cars were still there, from that I remember. And I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, my dad told me they're performing a warrant.
Yep.
And okay.
So tell me about the clothes in the backyard, the burning clothes. Whose clothes were they?
Okay. Did you ask her about that already?
Yep.
Well, she probably told you what happened.
No, she didn't. She told me they were her clothes, though.
No.
Were you just
I didn't hit her. I didn't.
Were you really just frustrated? You burned her clothes up?
I'm not gonna say that at all. I'm just gonna. I haven't hit anybody,
Good man.
and I haven't threatened anybody.
Good.
man. But you're not helping yourself when you're.
Well, you want me to talk about other stuff, and I guess
the whole totality of it is what we want to
I
figure
understand,
out.
but I'm under arrest right now for assault. I didn't assault anybody. Now you want me to talk about? I'll tell you what we did as far as where we went, but I didn't do anything to her.
But when you burn her clothes, that's doing something to her. If it was out of frustration,
I'm not saying I did that. I'm not saying that at all.
They didn't spontaneously combust.
Well, I'm not saying I did. Mind if I have some water?
Yeah, sure.
Move it. Get you some.
I'm sorry.
I'll get you some right now. You can think about that.
All I know is I obviously, trying to say that,
But here's the biggest thing.
I know I'm under arrest for this, and I didn't.
Listen. I wasn't there. I haven't even gone to your apartment. He did all the stuff at the apartment, the warrant, and all that other stuff. All the stuff I'm getting is secondhand information. So this is what I'm being told. There were some clothes in the backyard that were burned. I even asked her, once I learned about it, I asked her. She said, they were my clothes. I said, well, what happened to them? She goes, I don't want to say. That's what she said. I don't want to say. So her clothes got burned. She doesn't live there.
She does live with me.
Well, she says she has a place
Well,
down.
she does, but we live together. She's been living there. She stays every day.
Y'all been dating each other for almost 3 years though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She does live there. She has an apartment though.
What do you call her? What do you call her name-wise? Not girlfriend, but what do you call her?
For her name?
Yeah.
Mommy?
Ami, but her real name is.
Superwoman.
Okay. That's what I was just trying to see what the names were that what she went by. Is that like her nickname? Did she tell you to call her that, or is that something you came up with?
That's what she calls herself.
Okay. All right. So.
All I know, I mean, I know what you guys are arresting me for, and I can tell you without a doubt, I did not hit her. I did not threaten to hit her.
Did you grab her out the cab?
No.
How did she get out the cab?
She got out on her own.
Okay.
I was mad. I
did
was.
you-
I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I believe it.
I said
believe
some
it.
things I shouldn't have said to her, to the guy, but I did not
Did you
hit her.
threaten him?
No, I did not.
Well, what did you say that you shouldn't have said? I'm not.
I cussed on that. I was like, "What you?" I don't want to repeat it. I don't cuss normally. I was just, excuse me. I was just angry, and
Well, it was frustration too, just like
Cursed it.
Detective Jordan said.
but I did not hit anybody,
Okay.
and I did not threaten anybody, and the other stuff I just don't want to say.
Okay. Why do you think the cab driver would indicate that you jerked her out of the car? And what would
I didn't
why
jerk
why
her.
would he grab her physically, like, come on with me, out of the car?
I didn't.
You didn't put your
Grab
hand, you didn't
her
say,
like
come
that.
on, get out of the car. Nothing.
Nothing like that.
Did you put your hand on her to help her get out the car at all?
I mean, I barely remember most of this day. If I helped her out, it wasn't, nothing like that.
Okay, fair enough, John. So if
I'm a pretty strong person, but I'm not gonna yank my girlfriend out of the car.
okay, but why do you think that taxi driver would say that? He got paid, so what is it? Why would he do that?
It wasn't very nice to him.
So you
I
think
don't
he
know.
just arbitrarily?
I don't think he arbitrarily called in and just for the heck of it. I think he perceived that I was angrier than I mean, I didn't.
Evidence kind of shows that, man.
I was angry, yeah. I was not a happy camper, but I did not assault anybody. And I don't know what else I can say about that situation because, it's not the cab thing, but the other stuff you're asking about, because I don't really want to talk about that, and,
Because it incriminates you, is that why? Is that why you wouldn't want to talk about it?
I just don't.
Because you could
I
just kind
don't
of
want to.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Fair enough. I get you. You're not a dumbass, and I get that. So I can tell. But you're trying to be very cautious on what you're saying, and you're kind of prolonging the inevitable. Well, the evidence shows what it shows. That's. So you can't. The deal is what happens, especially when you and I are in the same career field. So we understand how this goes, and when you're thinking clearly, when you're sitting on this side, you're listening to that side of the table, and you're thinking, does that guy really believe what he's saying, or does that guy?
I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not going to talk about the stuff that I don't want to talk about. I'll tell you the stuff that I can speak to without. I didn't do anything over here on this side, but the stuff that you say incriminates me, I'd rather if it does or it doesn't, I don't want to talk about that. Well, they didn't tell me an arrest, but I'm being told now that you're under arrest for assault. I didn't
Domestic violence, yeah.
and I did not hit anybody or threaten anybody or.
But now put yourself in this chair.
I understand.
Listen to me. Put yourself in this chair. You have an independent witness that has nothing to gain by not being truthful. Nothing. From the cabbie, who's saying that you physically and forcefully removed her from that car. You see what I'm saying? Now, what should we do? What would you do in our position? Would you say, you know what, I'm gonna put my job on the line for this guy? Or would you say, no, I think I'm probably doing my job?
I don't think you guys won't do your job. I think you'll do your job, but that was like 12 o'clock. If he's saying, hey, so we're gonna wait. He's gonna basically 4 hours later, 5 hours later.
I don't know what the time
It was around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Prior to that we were. I'm not sure he could find out.
But think about this though. Think about this. You guys left the front door wide open.
I forgot.
Like you said, the cell phones are sitting out. So that kind of leads
I
us.
forgot my cell phone. She forgot hers.
Sure. I get it. But that would kind of lead us to believe that these guys left post haste, like lickety split. We had to get out of here right now, which kind of amps everything up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So.
I understand.
Okay.
And
All right. That's the part that I
know you guys are
right.
Very
1 o'clock,
very intelligent.
1 o'clock, the police were en route to that residence. So if it happened 12:30, quarter to 1, whatever.
I'm telling you the truth.
I was at home, I got called at 2 o'clock, and I'm the detective that write the search warrant. So that's the only reason I'm here, so I just happen to be the on-call guy. So 1 o'clock, the officers respond, right? They find, when
So
the
what's
partner says,
12:30 or was that?
thereabouts, roughly. So they find burning clothes in the back. They find the front door wide open. They find 2 cell phones there, because 2 phones are there so nobody tracks a cell phone, right? Because you're a policeman, you're not a dumbass, right? You were a cop at one time. You're not stupid. So 2 phones are left there. We have the fact that somebody was reportedly, I'm not saying factually, reportedly removed forcibly from a taxi cab. So as due diligence on our part, they check or surround the house, they try to make multiple calls to have you come out. Of course, you're not there already because you fled. You fled within 30 minutes, or if you say it's at 12:30, or probably less time, probably a quarter till.
We didn't
you
buff though.
fled.
We went to
You
get
fled,
coffee.
you didn't take time to get dressed, you left. Search warrant of the house, there's poop in the toilet, so somebody didn't flush, they was leaving in a hurry. They came, so I don't know why that would
I haven't
be.
been to the bathroom at all.
But, well, maybe your dad then left a pile of poo in the toilet. But somebody left in a hurry. There was this huge issue. There's a fire in the back with female clothing and makeup and things like that. It's all burned up. So as a homicide
I
detective.
understand that part, but I mean, I see the whole.
So we have a SWAT team surround that house. We make multiple calls and into the house if you were in there. We don't know if she's hurt, you're hurt, you've killed yourself, you've killed her, she killed you, she killed herself. We don't really know what has happened at that point. So the totality of the whole situation. And then while we're there, while I was standing next to your father, you call him from a payphone, but you don't want to talk to me and you hang up on your dad. So your dad walks away, you call
Well,
back.
he told me that you were nearby and you're 20
Yeah.
feet away.
Well, and initially, the very first phone call, we were this close. And then your father walked away, and he said, yeah, I'm about 20 feet away.
Okay.
And then you didn't want to talk anymore. So
Well,
these things, and at this point, as a law enforcement officer, we still hadn't talked to your girlfriend. I don't know if she's alive or dead. So you're with me in my shoes, right?
Yeah, she and I both were talking about that, and I didn't know how to handle it because I thought, okay, well, if I can talk to him and find out, you know, is it safe to go over there and meet somebody, or am I going to get proned out?
Well, when you were in our shoes, what would you do? Of course you would prone them out. Of course you would put handcuffs on them. Of course you would do that because you don't know the circumstances of what's happening. And then now you're sitting here, John, talking to us, and I appreciate it. However, you're picking and choosing, and you're asking more questions than you're answering. And I understand that, and I got all day in the world, buddy. I'll spend as much time and I'll answer every question that you have for us. My partner's the same way. But the bottom line is, at this point, with the totality of everything here, your best interest is to tell it all, so we can either figure out if there's we have facts in our case, or we don't, and we don't charge the guy wrong.
That are, like you said, those things speak for themselves.
The incriminating parts. You don't want to talk about those.
I mean,
And that's okay if that's what you choose
I
to do.
mean, I'm being told that you're arrested for
Are you
assault.
bleeding?
Yeah, I stepped on the bolt when I got out of the car. Back shoulder. I know how it looks as far as you guys get an argument, this happens, that happens, you guys leave quickly. But the first place we went and got coffee.
Mhm.
That's the honest truth. I got a Doppio espresso, and we went to the Lakewood, sit right there by the what do you call it? The
Town
city
center.
up there, the town center. I mean, you can go look at the video of us driving through. I'm not, yelling at her.
I'm not saying you didn't do that, sir. I'm not saying that about my partner's not saying that.
I
We're just trying to
got an
figure it
argument
out.
with her.
Because she
never
cheated
angered-
on you.
Yes.
And then that upsets you, and rightfully so.
But I'm not gonna go and beat her up.
I removed guns from your house, man. How do I know that you're not going to do that? Like I told your father, I had never had the pleasure to meet you until today. And under these circumstances, it's a little different, a little strained. I get that, man. But on a good day when you hadn't been drinking and you didn't have all this stuff going on, you might be a hell of a guy. Hell, we might even be friends. But the fact is, right now,
I'm actually a decent person.
but no, I don't disagree with you.
I'm not going to say that I've made great choices, but what I'm saying is I didn't hit her. I didn't threaten to hurt her.
Well, you understand what domestic assault is, right?
Yes.
You remember from the academy?
Yeah. But I didn't, wrench her out of the car. And
Well, give us the details of that. How did you?
I may have helped her out. Like it wasn't like
Just
get out of the car.
Okay, pause for a second.
Okay.
You're not doing any favors to yourself if you say, I don't remember how I did it.
No,
because here's the thing.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm not
But just,
saying.
just tell me how it happened.
I don't.
Just tell me how it happened. If you didn't forcibly remove her out of the car, just tell me how you got her to get out of the car. You were angry, and maybe you didn't freaking grab her and chuck her out of the car.
Okay, I didn't rip her out of the car or grab her or anything like that.
Okay.
If she started to get out and I helped her up, but I didn't go in there and grab her. I don't remember. I don't remember if I helped her up.
Is that because you've been drinking?
I drank last night. I haven't drank since 10 o'clock or something, 11 o'clock.
You must have drank a shitload because I'm getting kind of high sitting right here, man.
I haven't drank, I slept most of the day and got up around 12. So, yeah, I don't remember.
Did you guys spend the night together, you and your girlfriend? Okay.
We sleep together every night.
Okay. So the issue was she was leaving. Did you know she was leaving? Did she tell you she was going to get her car?
I was mad because instead of waiting till 3, like we normally have coffee together and talk and stuff, and I was like, I don't even know what. It's a stupid argument.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing. I mean, it's not stupid. But
yeah, it's a relationship that we're talking about.
But I forgave her already for it. I wasn't at that point. I wasn't gonna hurt her or anything.
Okay, so stop. Then why were you so angry when you went out to the cab?
I don't know.
Let me tell you like I tell my 15-year-old. If you were 7 or 5 years old, that answer would be perfect.
I mean, the logical answer is I was angry because I felt like she was disrespecting me. But I don't.
Okay.
There's no.
The light goes on because that makes sense. She was being disrespectful. That makes sense to me.
But I also know that it's not for me. Or like you want to take a cab versus spend time with me and talk this out. But I didn't hit her.
Okay.
And I didn't grab her up.
Okay.
Okay. And
but
if you don't believe me, that's.
Here's the thing. I want to believe you, but you keep leaving out that portion. It's just like watching a movie. You're watching Star Wars, and you don't get to hear the part where Darth Vader tells Luke he's a father. The rest of the movie ain't gonna make sense to you. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about one specific.
That's a really good analogy.
Thank you.
There are holes in my memory now though, because I'm tired. I've been up. I didn't sleep well.
You guys were talking about this from last night as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys were talking about this for a minute then.
Yeah. But we were cool about it. I mean, that's why I'm just like, I wasn't gonna do anything to her.
Okay. But that's why we have so many people, and you understand, is the way the house was left, the burning clothes, the cabbie saying this, that, and the third about what happened. After that, when we get there, it's like, oh shoot, this thing is really bad, kind of thing. We're to the point where we called detectives and the supervisor and the assistant chief and the SWAT team and all that other stuff there. Okay? You understand that?
I do understand.
Okay. You want to tell us anything else about this incident, man? I would wish you would be very detailed on how she got the car.
I'm trying to, like I've been trying to say, I'm not, you can put me on a lie detector or whatever you want to do right now. I'm not lying. And I don't remember doing any kind of grabbing of her, nothing like that.
What'd you tell the cabbie?
I cursed him out. I was like, because he was like, oh, you have to pay me. And I was like, well, here's your effing money. And I'm like, what, you don't think we're going to pay you? Like, no, I'm not a scumbag. Like, so she paid him and.
$25?
Yep, I believe it was 25. He said it was 15 and she gave him $10. That's $10 extra.
You don't want to tell me anything about the burning of the clothes. Because I'm going to tell you what it looks like when we write this up. Okay. It looks like, I'll tell you, I'll selectively forget about this portion. I remember this. I know this. I'm not going to tell you shit about that. And yeah, because I was really tired. That's what it,
I'm not saying it because of that. What you want me to say is you want me to incriminate myself.
Just looking for the truth, man. I give you the truth.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. So if I say I don't want to talk about
omission is a lie.
I'm not omitting that. I'm not omitting anything. I'm just saying I don't want to talk about anything.
That's omission. You're omitting that portion of the story because you don't want it to look bad. Dude, if you got pissed off and you burned her fucking shit up because you're just mad, again, I can understand being mad. She cheated on you, whatever, disrespected you. That's horrible. I get that. I understand that. But those things, when you remember when you take somebody somebody's case to the prosecutor and go, look at this, and they read it and they go, but he didn't. What do you say about this? We're going to talk about that. What do you think the prosecutor's going to do, man?
I don't know.
Well, you do know, because you've been a cop. If you weren't a cop, I could say, well, I can tell you what the prosecutor's going to do. But he's going to think that, and maybe it's been a while since you've been in trial, I don't know, but I can tell you that the prosecutor's going to look at this and say, he's lying. And you may not be lying, John, and that's the damnedest thing is you're telling us bits and pieces, and that's great. And I believe those bits and pieces. But when you leave portions out, when you omit portions of the story, it makes it a lie. And a portion of a lie is still a whole lot.
I'm not choosing to leave anything, like selectively omit things or like, hide stuff from you guys. I'm just not, like my girlfriend said, I'd rather not talk about that. Okay. I know that you guys want me to remember every little thing, and I'm tired. I'm still dried out. I'm hot.
You can take a jacket off if you like. It's 7:46. You said you got up at noon, so you've been up for 7 hours and 46 minutes and you're tired. And you said earlier that you slept.
I'm tired because I haven't eaten much today. We shared one of those.
You're still in your pajamas. I got you, man. I hear that, man. I hear you. We're just trying to help it, understand it all, and help you out and make sure that we can tell the totality of the circumstances. We want to make sure we tell the whole truth. Because when the prosecutor reads this, they're going to wonder why they spent thousands and thousands of dollars bringing a SWAT team out there. So they're really going to be looking at this. Because it's, every guy that comes out there, it's overtime, it's multiple guys, because it isn't like 5 or 6 guys on a SWAT team. They bring 30 or 40, it seems like, and I don't know if it's that many, but it's a lot. And you know what I mean? I just want to make sure that we have all the answers there for you, John, because I want to be able to say to the prosecutor, look, this is what it's at. This is what she said. This is what the taxi guy said. This is what John said. And let them make an honest decision on what they do from that point on. But when you don't give all the information, then they're going to think everything's a lie. And they're not going to.
But I don't want to. I'm not going to. Like you told me earlier, you said the best one here is this last one. If you don't want to talk about that, you don't have to.
That's right.
I'm just telling you.
Want me to read it to you again?
No.
This is a good one. I like this. You may stop answering questions and ask for attorney anytime during questioning or making any statements. That is my favorite one out of our advisement rights. That's the one I like the best because I can be truthful and I can tell everything. And if I don't want to talk, I can stop anytime. Just because you started.
I'm gonna be truthful about everything, but I don't want to. Say something. No, I don't want to say something. I'm not going to lie to you though. If I'd rather just not say something than lie. And I have been honest with you guys.
And when you get home, get out the Webster Dictionary and look up omission.
Okay. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be.
Hey, buddy, I just want to help you. Everybody sits back there. I don't care what they've done from one thing to another. And I know that my partner here, Detective Henson, is the same way. We want just to get as much truth out there because we're not. Look, this is what what you call a scumbag. I'm not telling you this. At one point in life, I went this way and they went that way. Right? I made this decision. They made that decision. I'm not any different of a man than you are. We both put our bridges on probably pretty close to the same way, right? Right? So we're just men. Sometimes
I'm just staying my way.
I know. I don't wear a rope, but okay. Anyway. But the deal is that somewhere in life we make you make a good decision. Sometimes we make bad decisions. I made bad decisions. You made some bad decisions. I get that.
It was not a good day.
But we don't judge you because of today's decisions. What we do is judge you of your accountability of those decisions.
I admit my wrongs.
Listen to what you just said.
I admit my wrongs. I just don't want to talk about certain things.
Right. Well, now, does that make sense, John? Listen to what you're saying. Regardless, man, if you want to stop talking, we're good. But listen to what you just said. I admit my wrongs, but I'm not going to tell you about that. So how you're not admitting?
I'm telling you, like you just said. Would you say to the guy? I cursed him out, and that's the truth. I didn't rip her out of the car. I didn't threaten anybody. I didn't hit anybody.
Why on earth would he call us and tell us that though?
I was a jerk. I mean, I
You didn't call and say, you know what, he cussed me out too much.
No,
he gave me my money.
I was a jerk. I was a jerk, and I was.
Did you identify yourself as a police officer?
No.
No. Not at all.
No.
And how would he tell us that you were a policeman?
I don't know. I didn't say that at
How
all.
would he say, she doesn't have the right to go, I'm a cop, get out of here?
What? I didn't say that at all.
Well, how would he know that you were a former law enforcement officer?
I have no idea. Come on, guys.
You think we're lying to you, though?
No, but
Okay. Here's the thing. We have no reason to lie to you. All the questions we want answered about the fire, about listen.
Okay.
All the questions we want to get answered about the fire, about the taxi cab, about the things that you said to this guy. That's why I asked you several times what you say to this guy, right?
Yeah, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You tell me to whoop his ass or anything like that.
No.
Now, I don't know that part, but I do know the part that was said to the police officers was, you said, she doesn't have the right to leave. I'm a police officer. You get your ass out of here.
No, I did not say that.
Okay. All right.
I did not say that. Are you serious?
That's serious.
He said that. Wow.
Again, remember, I wasn't there at the investigation part. These are the parts that we received as we get there. You know how it works.
I'll go on a polygraph. I did not say that.
Okay.
I'm being completely honest. I got up around 12:30, same time this guy was over there.
Yep, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Yep, that's what he said, man. And like I said, I don't make a damn to me either way. I don't know you, don't know your girlfriend. I feel really embarrassed for your parents.
Yeah.
Absolutely do.
Oh.
Your father was a general, right? I don't know if he was a good guy or not, but yeah, seemed to be real nice.
Well, here, I'll just say this, and then I think we're going to probably end this up now. Couple things. When you are adamant about something, I believe you.
Yeah.
When you say, oh, I don't remember if I don't know, that's what I don't believe you. But the other thing too is when you say, I don't want to talk about that because it's going to get myself into trouble, I do believe that. So there's two parts that I believe.
Well, I didn't say it'll get me in trouble. I just said I don't want to talk.
Well, you incriminate yourself. It means get you in trouble.
Well, I didn't say criminate. I did say. Come on
Don't
now.
play me stupid, man. But we're done. I can't do this. I'm not going to sit here. I would try to be respectful as we can. But you go, I didn't say that. Dude, we're not stupid either, right? We've been doing this job a long time. I want to treat you with the most respect as I can, man. I absolutely do. I want to be decent to you. I really do. But you're not helping yourself. And you're
I don't know what else to say though. I mean, I
Well, the
hear
truth
this.
always
I
works.
didn't say that to him.
You didn't say you want to incriminate yourself?
No, just tell
About the cop thing?
Yeah.
Okay. There's the thing.
Maybe my girlfriend said something before when she called him. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what was said. I don't know. And okay.
But did you hear what I said though?
What's that?
There's certain things that we ask you questions about that you answer, bam. And there's some things that you kind of, I'm gonna go all the way around the corner to get across the street. And then there's certain things you say, I don't want to talk about that. Like the clothes. We all know that you burnt her clothes. I don't know how many, it could have been 2 pair of panties and a bra. It could have been all of her clothes. I know, by the way she answered and the way you answered, that you burnt her clothes. Period. In the story, there's no two ways about it. And I'm not really too worried about that. You know the part that I'm mainly worried
It was
about?
stuff I bought her for Christmas.
Okay. So you burnt that? Yes or no? Did you burn her clothes? Did you buy for
I'd
Christmas?
rather have an attorney.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What time is it?
Time right now is 7:53. 19:53 hours.
All right. We're going to end this statement.